Today on our 2013 Ford Edge, we'll be installing the Blue Ox base plate kit with removable arms, part number BX2628. Now to begin our install, we'll first go ahead and open the hood. Then we'll remove the upper front fascia securing fasteners. There are a total of 2 bolts and 4 push pin fasteners. These push pin fasteners will have the center screw out, and then you can remove the entire fastener. Next, we'll move to the wheel well. Each wheel well, there are 3 fasteners that will need to be removed. Quick tech tip, the correct socket for these fasteners is a 5.5 millimeter socket. Now we'll go ahead and repeat the same process on the other side. Next, we'll move underneath the vehicle. Here we'll have 4 more screw fasteners. To remove the push pin fasteners, we'll simply use a flat blade screwdriver to get under the center of the fastener, prying it out, and then removing the fastener completely. Now with all our fasteners removed, we'll move to the wheel well corners where we can gently pull out on the fascia, releasing the fasteners underneath that secure the fascia to the front fender. Once we release both fascia corners, we can then go ahead and gently pull on the front fascia and remove it from the front of the vehicle. We'll go ahead and set it aside for reinstallation later. Next, we'll need to remove the front bumper assembly. As we remove the bumper, there are a total of 6 fasteners that will secure to the frame, 3 on each side. We'll retain 4 of the frame fasteners as they will be reused to install the front base plate, and 2 fasteners on each side that will secure the front bumper structure to the core support. Once we remove all these fasteners, we can remove the bumper and set it aside. Next, we'll remove the headlight assemblies. To remove the headlight assemblies, there are 4 fasteners that we'll remove first, pull out on the headlight assembly, then remove the wiring that goes into the back of the headlight assembly. And to do this, we'll press on the locking tab of the connector and then remove the connector from the back of the socket. Once we have both connectors removed, we'll go ahead and set the headlight assembly aside for reinstallation later. Now we'll go ahead and repeat the same process on the other side. Next, we'll need to remove the windshield washer bottle assembly. First, we'll remove the wiring harness that's connected to the washer bottle assembly and horn so that we can get the wiring harness out of the way. To do that, we'll press on the locking tab for each connector and then remove it from the socket. Now to remove the washer bottle assembly, it's secured in 3 places. One in front of the washer assembly and the other behind it, hidden behind the inner fender well for the passenger front tire. The third fastener is at the top of the washer bottle inlet. Now with the fasteners removed, we'll need to remove the hoses that run to the washer bottle assembly. Keep in mind that once we remove the front hose, it will allow all of the fluid to leak out. So we've gone ahead and assembled a plug for this one, which is an old piece of tubing with a bolt stuck in the end. We'll remove the manufacturer's hose and install our plug. Then we can remove the back hose and remove the washer bottle assembly from the vehicle completely. We'll set it aside for reinstallation later. To give us additional working room with the wire, we'll go ahead and pop 2 of the fasteners free. You can use a flat blade screwdriver or an interior trim panel tool. We'll remove the fasteners that secure to the frame and then set the wiring harness aside and out of the way. And mark out any necessary trimming that will need to be done for the air deflectors. There's 1 on each side. Using our paint marker, we'll go ahead and mark out the sections necessary to be trimmed. And then use our reciprocating saw to cut 2 slices in the front of the frame. Note, we'll need to prep the top of the frame here before we install the base plate. Using a hammer, we're going to flatten the lip on the outside of the frame so that it's even with the top of the frame and a flatter surface to mount the base plate on. And then fold the flap down so that we can open up the front of the frame channel. Now with the passenger side done, we'll go ahead and repeat the same process on the driver's side. We can go ahead and take the base plate and set it into position and mark out any necessary trimming that will need to be done. There's 1 on each side. Using our paint marker, we'll go ahead and mark out the sections necessary to be trimmed. And you can use a utility knife or a pair of tin snips to easily cut these sections out. Now with those sections cut out, we're ready to put the base plate in position. we'll use the old bumper hardware and secure the top of the base plate to the top of the frame. We'll install each fastener finger tight until we have them all in place. Next, we'll re-secure the front core support to the base plate. Now, to re-secure the core support to the base plate, it'll be necessary to use a jack, in this case a block of wood, to help raise the core support back up into position and reinstall the manufacturer's fasteners. Now that we have the manufacturer's fasteners reinstalled, we're ready to install our new hardware securing the base plate to the frame. We'll move to the frame rails. Here we'll need to prep the frame rails so we can install the new hardware to secure the base plate to the frame. To do this, we'll need to drill two 1 1/4 inch holes in the side of the frame. Lining them up with the attachment points on the inside of the frame, we'll go ahead and drill a pilot hole first. Then we'll use our hole saw bit to drill out the larger hole. Now we'll go ahead and repeat the same process on the other side. Next, we'll need to create two access holes in the side of the frame for installing and securing our hardware. As per the instructions, we'll drill a pilot hole and then enlarge it to a 1 1/4 inch hole saw bit. Once we have these access holes cut out, we're ready to start installing the hardware. For our forward two attachment points, we'll be using the 3/8 bolt, split lock washer, and flat washer, and securing it with the 3/8 flange nut. For the rear attachment point, we'll be using a 1/2 inch bolt, split lock washer, flat washer, and 1/2 inch handle nut. Noting that each one of our new fasteners will get the red Loctite, part number LT37420, as per the instructions. Now we're ready to install the new hardware. To make it easier to line up the holes in the frame with the pre-drilled holes and slots in the base plate, we'll use a large C-clamp to secure the base plate to the frame. Now with the C-clamp in place, we'll go ahead and install the 1/2 inch bolt, flat washer, and split lock washer, and secure it with the 1/2 inch handle nut. Then we'll install the two forward 3/8 fasteners. Now once we complete one side, we'll go ahead and repeat the same process on the other side. Now with all the hardware installed, we're ready to go ahead and tighten it down. Then we'll torque to specifications as indicated in instructions. Now with the new base plate installed and secured, we're ready to start reinstalling the washer bottle and headlight assemblies. Now we're ready to reinstall the headlight. We'll take the headlight, set it back into position, making sure we line it up with the attachment points. And then we'll go ahead and install the fasteners finger tight. And then tighten them down. Now we'll repeat the same process on the other side. Next, we'll install our safety cable. Safety cables are designed as a secondary measure in case the base plate comes free from the frame. We'll take our safety cable and wrap it around the lower cross member that connects both frames. We'll bring the safety cable up to the attachment point at the base plate where we can secure it with the quick link provided. We'll take the quick link, feed it through the base plate, and then install the safety cables onto the quick link and close the clasp. Now we'll repeat the same process on the other side. Next, we'll need to cut out the front fascia in order to make room for the base plate and the removable arms. Using our paint marker, we'll first go ahead and mark out the section to be trimmed. We'll start small and then work our way to a larger size as necessary. Now we'll go ahead and repeat the same process on the other side. Using a rotary tool, we'll go ahead and cut out the front fascia. Once we have it cut out, we're ready to set it in place. We'll gently work it over the base plate and into position. On this application, we're going to go ahead and make the cutout slightly larger. So we'll go ahead and mark it here on the car and then use our rotary tool to cut it out. Now with the additional sections cut out, we're ready to reinstall and resecure the front fascia. Once we have it back in place, we'll go ahead and start reinstalling the front fasteners. Now with all our fasteners reinstalled, we'll go ahead and review the operation of our new Blue Ox base plate kit with removable arms. To install the removable arm, we'll simply take the arm, slide it into the receiver tube, twist and lock into place. You're then ready to install your tow bar. Now to remove the removable arms, we'll simply pull back on the locking ring, twist the removable arm to release it. Once we remove it completely, we can then install the base plate cup inside the opening where we remove the towing arm. And there you have it for the Blue Ox base plate kit with removable arms, part number BX2628 on our 2013 Ford Edge.